I'm live. That's so dope. Hey everyone. Trying to find a chat. Does it work? Can you guys hear me? Can you type? Can you let me know? It's my first live stream, so I don't really know how this works. Please say something. Am I supposed to see something? Am I supposed to hear something? Jesus, this is a total fail. Write some comments, please. Jesus, this is a total fail. Write some comments, please. I mean, I can see myself on YouTube right now, but I can't see the chat. Write some comments, please. I mean, I can see myself on YouTube right now, but I can't see the chat. Write some comments, please. I mean, I can see myself. Okay, well, now I'm looping just because I was playing myself on this live stream, and you're basically getting the feedback of that. But I'm pretty sure that's sucking a lot of the band, and I have a pretty shitty internet anyway, so oh, this is pretty bad though. Like, where's the freaking chat? Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like just read at the YouTube page and just live stream for now. I'll figure it out later. I'll watch some tutorials online and see how to do it. But yeah, well, first of all, hi everyone. Well, I am in the live stream page, but if I'm staying in the live stream page, what I'm gonna do, what's gonna happen is it's gonna stream the thing, which kind of sucks. Well, anyway, maybe I can pause it. Yeah, I think I can pause it, and I should be able to see you. Yeah, no, I am in the public live page as well, but that would use some of the bandwidth that I don't want to use because my internet is already pretty awful. So that's the only reason I didn't want to be there. Yeah. Do you want a different color? We can put it like blue. Or I can have it like all sort of crazy. There you go. So now it's gonna be all trippy. All right. So today I totally didn't have time to do the tutorial Tuesday. like pretty much always. I think I've done 2 tutorial Tuesday that were in time. 7 RGBs, guys. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of struggling to find what to do for a tutorial, because online there's a billion tutorials for everything. If you want to do a dubstep growl, you can find a million dubstep growls. If you want to do like bass house, you can find a million tutorials on bass house. If you want to do Brazilian house, you can find a million tutorials on Brazil house. So I'm trying to find something not different to do, but something a little bit more interesting and stuff. And what I wanted to talk about in this live stream, I mean, I didn't want to talk about it, or I certainly haven't planned to talk about it, but what I'm thinking about talking is it's about like tutorials in general, and it's going to be a bit of a rant. I mean, it's not going to be a rant, but so I just want to talk to you about the problem with tutorials on YouTube nowadays. And the problem is the way they're done. I mean, they're surely they're useful if you're looking for if you're looking for something specific. Like if you wanna do the JAWS bass, you look on YouTube, type JAWS bass, and you'll find it. And you'll find someone who's insanely talented about sound design, and he will tell you, take this, turn it up, turn it back, turn it down, blah blah blah, and you have the sound you're looking for in a matter of like 10 minutes. Unless it's me, who takes forever to explain things, and then in that case will take 20 minutes. But you know, so I watched a lot of tutorials around YouTube, sort of to understand what's the format, what are people, you know, teaching and everything. And by the way, no, I don't sleep, hardly. And you know, what I'm sort of concerned about is how not really effective those tutorials are. I mean, they are absolutely great if you're looking to learn something very quickly, but to me, it feels like you're not gonna learn how to actually use a synthesizer, or you're not gonna learn what a synthesizer does. If you look at my tutorial that I did about filter envelope, someone commented there, you could have done this tutorial in 3 minutes, but it took you 20 minutes to say something that you could have explained in 3 minutes. The reason it took me 20 minutes is because I actually explain what is the concept behind getting to a certain point. And this is what most of the people on YouTube are sort of failing to do when they're making tutorial. And I understand they just want to get the tutorial out. They just want to get people hooked for those 5 to 10 minutes. People are looking to recreate a certain sound. They don't necessarily care about what's behind it. Don't worry, it's fire over there, so if you see it. But you know, from experience, when I started, there was no YouTube video. There was nothing. I learned synthesis and sound design on my own. I didn't go to school. And if I did it, I am no smarter than you. You can do it as well, but you're not gonna learn how to do it If you are, just go watch a 5-minute tutorial that'll tell you take the knob down to 20 and the resonant up to 15 and this up to 25 and all that stuff. Sorry, I'm just gonna like take a break and read all the comments. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I mean, they're useful. I'm not saying that they're not useful, but again, you're not going to learn from it. And so what I'm trying to understand is how can I do some tutorials on synthesis? I mean, I know a lot of you want to know about mastering. They want to know about mixing and all that stuff. And some people tell me I am great at mastering, great at mixing. I'll be honest, I am not very knowledgeable on those subjects. I kind of just use my experience. I'm not that kind of guy that will tell you, oh, if you put a 2-to-1 ratio on that compressor right here in this sound, it'll sound great. I'm not that kind of guy. I know how compressor works, how compression work, but I'm not that kind of guy that'll say, oh yeah, you need like 3K EQ on this sound and put a compressor there. I'll just listen and I'll just try to get there, either with compression, with EQ, with volume, with levels, and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'm definitely more knowledgeable on synthesis, and I can definitely give you a way more in-depth explanation of synthesis than mixing and mastering. And the other thing is, I honestly don't want to deal with, because I don't know if you noticed with my comments with the way I replied to all my comments on YouTube. I don't really like when people tell me what to do or when people tell me I'm wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll be like, okay. But if I know that I'm right, and people tell me I'm wrong, I tend to be a bit of a dick. Just because I know that stuff is the right thing to do, and so don't mess with me. Don't even try. I know it comes out a bit as a big-headed kind of thing, but it's really not. I'm not that kind of person. It's just that I really know my shit when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of figure out how to do it, especially with synthesis. And then yes, I'll probably talk about mixing and mastering, or the way I do it, and I'll try to make it as clear as possible that is my own method. It's not the right thing, is not it's not what you should do, it's just what I do. But that's about mixing and mastering. When it comes to synthesis, most of the times I would be that kind of guy that says, okay, this is how it's really done. And I mean, sound design is still art, so even in this case, there isn't really the right or wrong way to do it. However, if you want to modulate a parameter, you have, with an LFO, that's what you have to do, and there's really not much alternatives to it. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what kind of tutorial I can do, because I mean, to me, everything is sort of pretty basic. Like why would you why would I explain how an LFO works, because to me it's just, you know, so simple. But I do understand that for other people it's not as simple. I mean, probably you all know what an LFO does, but probably don't know what the difference between an envelope and an LFO is. Some of you, I'm sure, knows about it, but some people don't know what's the difference. The difference is that one occurs only once. The envelope only modulates as soon as you hit your note. It only happens once, while the LFO happens constantly. Now I have to explain it to you a little bit more in depth, but you know, just if you're wondering, that's the biggest difference. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what should I do in terms of a synthesis tutorial, and I am also trying to find different type of tutorial. I think if you haven't seen it, go watch it. The tutorial I posted last week, the one where I explained what I do to get my tracks ready for mastering. That was a really silly tutorial, but I feel like it was very useful in a way, because like I said, if you're looking on YouTube for a JAWS baseline or EDM supersaw, whatever, you're gonna find a million tutorials like that. Even if you're looking for how to master your track, you're gonna find a million tutorials on that. But you're not gonna find an idiot like me explaining, like, take your track, put it in a software and pitch it up 12 semitones, just make it sound like a chipmunk, and that will actually help you find some tuning error. That's something that you're actually not going to find, and I'm very proud of that tutorial. So now I want to try and find other tutorials that are more on that sort of line. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. I just don't want to be unpolite and not replying to people. I'll take some time to answer all your questions in a minute anyway. So don't worry if I'm not replying to all the questions. I'll finish what I'm trying to talk about here, and then I'll go back, read the questions, and reply. So yeah, that's the thing. I wanna do like a proper synthesis, a set of tutorials for synthesis, where it's not really gonna be like, this is how you recreate Don Diablo sounds, or this is how you recreate Seven Skies sound. It's mostly gonna be something a little bit more boring, not as exciting in terms of the sound that I'll get out of the synthesizer, but it will be something that will help you get the sound that you guys want out of the synthesizer, which I think has more value in the long run than the 5 to 10 minutes tutorial of how to do a dubstep sound or whatever. Then don't get me wrong, I'll do those tutorials as well, because that's what people want to see, but I'll also try to do something more in depth. I think that makes more sense, and that's something that is more me. I mean, I am this sound design nerd, and I suppose people expect me to be so on YouTube. Another thing that I want to start doing, especially given the fact that I will release Get Low at some point, which is my instrument, and I know I've been very vague about it. I just like throw it here and there in my tutorials or on my like social media. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. I'll do a proper video about it when the right time comes, because right now there's still going to be a couple months before it's released. But another thing I want to do for my tutorials is which is what I wanted to do today, but I didn't have time. But is some contact tips and tricks, because I know that contact is very, very scary for people. Hell, it's still pretty freaking scary for me as well. But I was thinking I should do at least one video where I explain a couple tips and tricks for contact. For example, like how to use quick loads. And if you don't know what quick loads are, don't worry. I'll do a video very soon explaining what everything is. Something that I get asked a lot of times is how to set up the pitch bend on contact. And I'm going to do that. How to I might actually do a how to script. I'm not a great coder by any means, but I know how to script a little bit on contact. The very basic stuff. Get low was coded entirely by me, but then since I made it NKS compatible, which means it will work with machine, it will work with control, it would work insanely well with all the native instrument stuff. So since I have done that upgrade, someone else coded it for me. But I know how to code contact a little bit. Not much. Don't expect any fancy shit, but I can probably teach you how to, create your tiny little instrument that has a few parameters there, and you can use it for your own stuff. But that might be like a whole different video on its own. But I feel like a contact video would definitely be useful, because there aren't that many contact videos on YouTube, and I know that people use it a lot for all the orchestral stuff and everything, but they never really go over the just loading the library and finding the instrument that you want, and yeah, they don't go over that operation, and that's why sometimes if people need to change the pitch bend rate, they are completely lost. So I can do a video on how to do that. All right, so this is it on what is coming. This video will be online after it's done, so if you can comment and let me know what tutorials you would like to have. Once again, I'll do mixing, I'll do mastering. I've been talking about this for a few weeks, but I have a track that's coming out on a big label. It's a remix, and I'll definitely do some track overview, how I mixed it, how I produced it, how I mastered it. I just can't right now because it hasn't been released yet, and I also need to get the approval from them to post the videos, because otherwise they'll give me a copyright strike. It's not as easy as it might sound. Yeah, I'll need to ask a few authorizations, but I'll do mixing, I'll do mastering. But I'm more interested on knowing from you, what would you like to know in the synthesis world? More about FM, more about, just modulations in general, filters. Obviously, I'll probably do it in Serum because it's the easiest synthesizer to use, and it has everything that a synthesizer could basically offer, beside additive synthesis. But other than that, Serum just does everything. And once again, you only need to learn one synthesizer. Once you learn one synthesizer, once you learn how it works, you'll be able to apply it on every synthesizer. Reactor, I have no idea how to use Reactor, actually. I'm a very good friend with the Twisted Tool guys. They make great Reactor instruments, probably the best on the market. But I'm always talking to them. I was actually talking to the owner last night, and I'm always like, I'll do contact stuff. You keep doing your Reactor stuff, because I don't know how that works. I actually like to work better with samples, and that's why I'm making a contact instrument and not a Reactor instrument. But there are some stuff that I'm planning for future products. So who knows? Okay, I'm gonna start read some of your questions now, because I haven't paid much attention to it. I should make a special YouTube track from start to end. Right, so there is a track that I am releasing for free. It's done. I've been slacking on releasing it. The only reason is I'm actually looking for a cover art. I found this guy on Instagram who's very talented, and he made a cover art for me. I'm not 100% sold on it. But literally the only thing that is stopping me right now and stopping that track from being released is the cover art. And the moment that's sorted, there's going to be a video about that song, that it's not only limited to how the song has been produced. Obviously, since it's my track, it's going to be released for free. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. I won't get any copyright claim from anyone, because it's my track. So, but there's going to be much more to it than just how I produced it, how I came up with it, and it's going to be something that I haven't seen on YouTube so far, and I'm so excited about that video. I can't tell you anything about it for now. I'm very excited about that video. I'm just very scared, because I want it to be perfect. I want it to be like a very good video, and it's a video that I know for sure will help a lot of musicians, a lot of you guys. So yes, something is coming, but yeah, I just need to find the right cover art. If you're a designer, if you have people who are really good designer, just let me know. Might speed things up. Catch me outside. How about that? How you organize things before you start a project? Honestly, I don't. I'm a very unorganized person. Whenever I make a track, it's just very random. Sometimes I'm making a sound set. I'm just tapping on the keyboard, making sounds, and I tap the right keys, a melody comes up, and I'm like, okay, whoa, this sounds cool, and I put down the MIDI, and then I stop working on the sound set, and instead I start working on the track. It's always very, very random, but there's not much stuff that I do to sort of organize my work. I mean, I do have all the what's it called? the chains and racks and whatever saved in live. So if I need something, I'll just grab it, take it, drop it in. But other than that, it's always just very random. Someone likes the idea of a contact video. That's great. Top 7 analog emulation. I mean, I could do something like that. But the moment I'll release Get Low, it's just going to be like, guys, just go with Get Low because it's the best analog emulation ever. Provide tips on finding suitable vocalists. Man, I have this, like, I wish I could help you with that. I have this track which is super nice. It's like one of the best track I have written so far. It has such a summer vibe, but very old school house. And dude, I need to get some British singer on this track, but I don't know anyone. And I got a couple singers singing on it, and they both did a great job, but they have been, not the singers themselves, but people that were involved have been such a pain in the ass to work with that I'm like, fuck it, it's not working, it's not worth it. So honestly, I have no idea how to find vocalists, I don't know. This is probably the worst thing about me. I suck at that. And that's pretty bad because I have a couple tracks that really need vocals and I can't release them without a vocal. I don't do mentoring just yet. The reason is I recently set up the whole company, the whole standalone-music.com website, and I'm focusing on sort of growing that platform. It's a website where I do sound design, where I do mastering. It's not, I am the owner, but there's a couple more people working with me. Not for me, they're working with me because they're very good friends, and we're sharing everything, even if I came up with it. And I'm so busy with that I don't do mentoring just yet. I definitely want to do it, but I'm kind of too busy because I have standalone music, I have Seven Skies, now I have YouTube. So yeah, I need to have everything a little bit more settled before I can take time on mentoring, but I definitely want to do it. Clipping or limiting, both. Actually, that works. I usually, what I do is a little bit of limiting, and then I finish it with the clipping. The way I do that is so that I don't drive the limiter too hard. So I just get like maybe like 2 dBs of limiting, but 2 dBs on the hardest part, like the hardest pick is going to be 2 dB. And then the rest is done with clipping, but it's sometimes it's hardware clipping. I feel like it sounds better, so I have hardwares and I do it with that. Otherwise, I use the Kazlog K-Clip. for clipping. That's an insane plugin. Check it out. Would be awesome to see an alliance of producer like me who make tips video together. Yeah. Thing is, there is a big difference, and I really need to be careful on what I'm gonna say right now, because I don't want you to understand the wrong thing. A lot of producers out there are not very technical. They're very good producers. They're great at taking a preset or a sample and throwing it in Live or in Logic or Fruity Loop and make a song out of it. But they don't really know what they're doing. And the reason I have to be careful with what I'm saying is that it is important that you understand that this is not a bad thing. This is actually very very good for producers. Producers don't need to necessarily know everything about how a synthesizer works or how to mix or how to master. Producers need to produce. That's what they should do. Much like a guitarist doesn't necessarily have to know how to build a guitar. He just needs to know how to play it. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I mean, it makes sense in my head, but there is a fine line between producing and being a nerd. I know nerds that are shit producers, and I know great producers that are shit nerds, like shit engineers, shit sound designers, shit whatever. From my own experience, I can tell you that knowing too much is dangerous in music production. That's why when it was a big mistake that I did back in my trance days. Sorry, my girlfriend's messaging me. Back in my trance day. Oh my God, girlfriend, stop! Stop! Sorry. Sorry about that. Back in my trance days, when I used to when I was on Angina Beats, I used to be like super picky. I used to make all the sounds myself, and it would take me 4 or 5, even a year and a half, 4 or 5 months, even a year and a half to make a track. That's the longest it took me to make a track. And the reason is I wanted to make all my own sounds, and everything was done by myself. And that took away the inspiration from me, and making music became very bad. I was scared to make music, and I didn't want to, because I was like, oh my God, I have to do a sound. I have to also come up with an idea and everything. And all the producers that were using presets and samples and all that stuff just became way more famous than me. Probably even because they were more talented than me and had better ideas than me, but I wasn't as productive as them, especially because I was making my own stuff, my own sounds and everything. So what I do now when I make music is I remove my sound designer hat and I put on my producer hat. That's how some people explain this to me. Yeah, I have an awful connection, by the way. So that's what is important to understand. If you're being a producer, you should mostly focus on producing. And if you are also a sound designer, what I do is I do different sessions. Sometimes I make sounds, and I start my day with my mindset on making sounds. Today I'm gonna make a future house sound set or whatever, and I'll do all my sounds. And the day after I'll be like, today I'm making music. Sometimes the two things obviously cross each other. If I'm making a sound, like I said before, and I am I'm tapping the right keys and I come up with a melody, I might start producing that melody that I came up with. And sometimes if I am working on a track and I can't find the right preset, I'll make my own sound. But for the most part, I try to keep the things very separate. And that is very important. Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. I don't even know how I got here, but yeah, apparently my internet is being awful. And there's literally no way for me to know how the quality is. But once again, guys, this is a test. This is literally my first live stream. So someone wanted a tutorial on marketing and how to get in the music industry. I can do that. I don't know if I can help, but I can try. Do you take reference tracks? Yeah, of course I do, both in producing and mixing as well. The best thing when taking references is try to take references, especially like this is on the production side. If you're making future house, and you're trying to get inspired by other things, I wouldn't try and get inspired by other future house tracks. I'll try to get inspired by something that is completely different from future house. That way you can sound fresh by taking inspiration from something else. Well, if you take inspiration from something that stays in the exact same world where you want to be, that's not going to sound fresh. That's going to sound like a different interpretation of something that already exists. It still works, but that might not be a fresh thing. That now it's actually harder to sound fresh than sound just make something with the same sound. But yeah, if you're trying to find new things, sometimes listening to music that is completely unrelated helps a lot. Then mixing wise, obviously, if you're making future house, you want to have a big future house track as a mixing reference. That's a completely different story. That's impact. That's the way a track should sound. So in that case, yes, if you have a track that is Don Diablo style, you definitely want to have a Don Diablo track in there. You want to listen to how it sounds, and then you want to try and get it as close as possible sonically to it, not ideas wise, but sonically, the way the kick sounds, the way the mix sounds, the way the impact you have. Yes, that's definitely the thing to do if you want to mix a track and want it to be competitive with other tracks, with other commercial tracks within the same market. Working on a non-treated room acoustic. Why is any tip how to work on that? Well, I've worked on a shitty room for 10 years. I just recently moved to this new studio. By the way, probably Saturday, the new video is going to be about the studio. So don't miss that one. But anyway, this studio is treated. It's not super treated, but it is treated. The previous room that I had, it was awful. It was a tunnel. It was literally a tunnel, which is the worst thing you can have for audio. But and I also had very shitty speakers. But I learned how to listen within that environment, and I listened to a lot of tracks. Once again, they were my reference tracks, and I knew that good sounding track would sound a certain way in that room, and so all I tried to do was sort of get the same sound of those tracks adjusted to my room, and that kind of worked. I like this room better though. It's definitely nicer. No, the door hasn't been opening. If it has, there's probably a ghost or something. Lance, my friend Lance is here. The best designer in the whole world. What do you think about just taking ideas from a whole bunch of tracks? I think it's totally fine. I think, well, who is it? I think it's Picasso that said, great artists, good artists copy, great artists steal, or whatever. I don't remember how it is. Like, oh my god, this is this is embarrassing. But yeah, like, great artists grab ideas from other artists and they readjust them on their own sort of like way of doing things, and they and yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, unless you totally rip off a freaking thing, in that case it's not fine. But if you're just taking bits and pieces of ideas of ways of doing things and make them your own, that's totally fine, especially if you combine them. If I search for some inspiration, I don't know, lately I've been, I don't even know, like I used to just go to Beatport and listen to that stuff, but that obviously hasn't happened in a long time. And I don't even know what is Spinning been up to or other labels have been up to, because it's been very weird lately for music. Honestly, I've been having a lot of fun working on stuff that isn't really what you would expect from Seven Skies, like the new track that I'm releasing. The new remix that I'm releasing is like a future bass, flumy type of stuff, a little bit more commercial sounding, but I'm getting a lot into the not 4x4 kind of stuff. I also have like 4/4 stuff coming out, but I don't know. I'm just working on a lot of stuff. That track that I did for the vlog that I released last Saturday, last Sunday. I don't know if you heard that track. It's called Crack Setter. That one was done with my iPhone, and it was actually a lot of fun to make, and I think it came out great. It's something that you definitely wouldn't expect from me, but I don't know. Right now, I'm just doing whatever the hell I want and trying to get inspired from everywhere. Not trying to do the biggest new big room track or the biggest new future house track. I'm just doing whatever I think it's fun to make, because that's what music should be. I reached a point where my side projects are making more money than Seven Skies. Seven Skies never really make much money anyway. So I'm at a point where I'm like, fuck it. I'll just do whatever I feel like doing, since I'm not so involved and not so attached to the money as Seven Skies, and I'll just do whatever I like. That's why I get so pissed off when people say, "Oh, you're a sellout," because, like, seriously, I'm doing stuff for the opposite reason. I have other incomes, and that's why I do stuff that I like as Seven Skies, just because I don't have to be like, "Oh my God, I have to make a big room hit," because otherwise I won't get a gig and I won't get money. And it's actually great. Like, I just do whatever I like, and yeah, you never know what to expect from me, and that's just great. I think it's great. Have you ever produced a bass house track? I did. If you go on my Spotify, you'll find the track. Fuck it. Right now, I don't remember how it's called because they changed the name. The label changed the name at the last minute. It was called McLovin, which was a fantastic title, but they didn't want it. They thought there would have been some copyright issues, so they changed the name, and I think the name is Get Down to the Beat. Yes. So if you go to my Spotify, you'll find a track that's called Get Down to the Beat. It's a track I did for Gatorade, actually. It was a big project for Gatorade and Steve Aoki. It's a fun track. It's very jazzy. But once again, I just wanted to try it out. I didn't mean to, steal his shit or copy him or get famous with that style. I just wanted to fuck around with that sound, and I think it came out pretty fun, pretty nice. Is it really bad if I only use headphones? No, it's actually okay. I made a lot of tracks with my V modas. Now, don't ask me what models they are, but they're like the V modas that all DJs have. I think they're the most expensive ones in the on their website, but they are great. If you want to produce with headphones, I think they're amazing, especially the low end and the kick. It has been easier for me to get the kick right on the V modas rather than the big, what is it, like €2,500 monitors that I have in the studio. So yeah, you can totally use your headphones. V modas are great. By the way, I'm not paid to say this. They do sponsor me, but I'm not paid to say this. Once again, do you do private lessons? I don't right now, but I will, and I'll let you know when I'll do an announcement whenever I'll start. Hey, Michael. Wow, nice to know you switched to live. Hopefully, you will, keep up to your expectation. Tips on getting your music to recognition. I don't know. That's the hardest thing. Just be smart with it. Sadly, now we are in times where your music counts to a certain extent. I would say 90, no, not 90, 70% is music, good music, quality music, and then 30%, but probably even more than 30%, it's marketing, the people the strategies that you have. So yeah, it's tricky. Sadly, music is not 100% on, it doesn't, great music doesn't guarantee you're gonna be heard and people are gonna love your stuff. I'm pretty sure you heard a lot of music that sucks, but people are still famous no matter what. So it's a combination of talent, good marketing, and luck. Okay, so it's 3 a.m. here, and I still have some stuff to do. But this was great. This was a nice live stream. I'll try to have it set up in a better way next time, because now it's all shitty and stuff, like probably awful video quality and awful microphone and awful lighting and everything. But this was a test. I just wanted to see how the whole thing runs and what kind of response I have from you guys. But it has been fun, and definitely was a good makeup from not doing a tutorial Tuesday today. And yeah, well, let me know in the comments once again, what would you like to know? What would you like me to talk about on the next tutorial? But please try to get creative in a way. Like try to go over like the mastering and the mixing, because once again, like I said, there's going to be a million tutorials on YouTube already for that kind of stuff. I'll do my best to get as creative as possible with my tutorial, but I could definitely do with some help. And once again, I'll also do other more mainstream tutorials as well, because obviously that's what most people wanna see anyway. Cool. This is it for me. I'm definitely gonna go now because it's late and I still have stuff to do. Sorry if I haven't answered to your question. If I missed it, bear with me. I'll try to do more live stream for sure. I'll definitely do more live streams. Maybe once every couple weeks. But yes, as always, from me, David, Seven Skies. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. Bye.